Hi everybody. So in my first video, I was trying to not cry, so I took a break for a minute and I wanted to do a second video on why I have a problem with the Democrats too, because I watched my video and I realized that I was only talking about the Republicans. So I wanted to go into my story about the first time I voted was for Obama because, we all had hope and change, and I thought maybe he was a smart guy, and I thought maybe I could trust him and that he was telling the truth, and I put a lot of faith in somebody that I thought I could trust. And, I try to pay attention to the interviews and the debates and all that kind of stuff. And I know with the whole water situation, what happened in Flint, I lost all complete faith in him when he came there and took a drink of water and told us it was okay and didn't finish drinking the glass of water. Like, that's another problem I have. I'm sick of being lied to because we got lied to for years about our water and how many people in our government, Republicans and Democrats, that didn't help us. Like Gina McCarthy was the administrator for the EPA, and then she lied to us. And then Susan Hedman, regional director 5, she got to retire. She didn't get in any trouble for anything that happened. She lied. Then we had other people like Nick Lyons and Eden Walls. They all lied about the water. Then we had like Rick Snyder. They dropped all the charges against him in case no one knew what happened because the news doesn't really report on the follow-up. They just, dropped all the charges and let him go. And, that was another thing about them taking away our rights. Like, I just see politicians as politicians. I don't see left and right. To me, they all have the same donors. They all play both sides. They're all in it for the corporations. Like Rick Snyder with the whole Nestle water deal. I guess you can look that up. That's a whole sweetheart deal that should have never happened, but it does. And they make a lot of money off of our water doing that. But anyway, they came in with emergency managers, and then they overrode the vote of our council, our city council, and changed the water supply without doing the study, without doing the backups. Like, anytime you switch a water supply, there's supposed to be a 6-month study. 3 months without corrosion control and 3 months with corrosion control. So as far as I know, you have to do a 6-month study before you can even consider changing a water source like that. Because you have to, when you change the water, you have to know how much you need to apply to corrosion control. And then you have to have the equipment installed to do it. So if you switch this water source over and you don't have the corrosion control equipment installed to put the chemicals into the water, there's no way to disperse it into the water, then you have no idea what you're doing. So they just pushed it all through to make money off of us, to privatize it, to make money off of us. And it all turned out a big mess. So, I don't know, like, and then right after all that happened, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton and everybody came to Flint, and then they were saying, oh, we're going to help you with your water, this, that, and the other. Nobody, they didn't help. Hillary and Donald didn't do anything. So, and then, everybody's like, being in the Flint area, of course, I do definitely believe in unions. That's what I grew up around, GM workers. So, you know, most of my family members, cousins, aunts, uncles, parents, they all worked for GM. You know, so the union was important to us. So they had to fight for their rights. Like, so we keep getting our rights taken away from us that our parents all fought for. And we regress. So, I don't know. Like, we've had Democrats get in problems with all kinds of corruption schemes, public corruption scams, scams with crypto, the whole FTX thing, paying off both sides. You know, the politics are just getting ridiculous. Like, can't you see past the politics to see the greater good of what I think they should be doing? But they don't have that motivation. They have the motivation of making money for themselves. They don't have the motivation of working for unions. Like there, I was talking about, I know I say like a lot, sorry. I'm nervous. Anyway, Trump and Elon were supposed to be getting sued because of their anti-union rhetoric in an interview they had on X. And they were talking about firing people if you try to organize a union. And it's like Elon's another person that's been sued a bunch of times for harassment, toxic workplace, insider trading, fraud. 17 different agencies he's getting investigated by. Now you want to make up some other department for him to be the head of that he has no business. Oh, he can run all these other companies and do all this other stuff, but then he's going to put out an ad that he wants a high IQ person to come work 80 hours a week. Anyway, I'm not even going to go into a whole rant about that right now. I will say this, like, I don't go to the machine shop anymore, so Peter has no reason to show up there. That's all I got to say about that. And I will not be going back to that job ever again. I don't want to work in electronics anymore. I don't want to work in computers anymore. I don't want to do none of that. I just want to retire. I don't want to deal with none of their problems because they're not my problems. Until they make them my problems because they're taking over my elections and ruining it for everybody. So the greater good doesn't matter to them. They just want cheap labor and they don't want to pay for your benefits. And I'm just worried about, like, with all this Project 2025 stuff that they had going on. Like, I write into some of it and I'm just like, oh, this is going to be so bad if they do this crap. So what are you going to do to stop it? I mean, like, what do we do if they just suspend the Constitution and stuff like that? Then you don't have any legal recourse. Then there's no court to go to. Then you got to start with your citizenship all over again. You know, do you reapply for citizenship? How does all that work? Because I got a lot of questions about that too. Like, so I don't want to be worried about my citizenship. I don't want to have to worry about my insurance. I don't have to want to worry about the military being in our streets. You know, the National Guard is supposed to be here to protect us in the homeland. The military is supposed to be used abroad. Like, how we got all this mixed up, I don't know. I think Jesse Ventura had a lot of good things to say about it. I actually liked what he said about it on, I think it was CNN or somewhere. I don't know. But he was talking about how The National Guard was, they deployed them because they ran out of military and they needed them overseas. So then who do we have to protect us at home? But then these guys want to put the military out and have like a militant police state and stuff. So what do we need the police for then? I don't. What plan are they trying to come up with? Because it doesn't even make any sense to me. So they're just gonna use the military instead of the National Guard, when I thought you had to go through the National Guard, and then if the National Guard needed backup, then you have proper channels you go through. But apparently proper channels don't matter anymore. So we can just blame everybody else, point the fingers at everybody else. It doesn't matter. That's why, like, politics of, like, sometimes I wonder if maybe just more better, honest people that weren't out for themselves ran for office, but that's when all the money comes in, you know, all the lobbyists, all the people paying for the commercials, all the people that are paying for you to be on the ballot, you know, for the signatures. You got to get registered and do all kinds of stuff in it. But apparently you don't need background checks. So there you go. I don't know. I've been looking for a new job. I've been thinking about it. I need a new career. I got hurt really bad, so I'm not able to do the work that I used to do. And I just need a new career. So I thought, I've been into politics a lot just because of how they affected my life. And I just don't know what else to do about it, because I feel like I'm a spectator just watching this train wreck waiting to happen, and I want to say something. I want to do something. I don't even know what to do. And I try to talk to people about it, and I get told, you know, I'm immature, or I don't know what I'm talking about, or all these things, but they just don't listen to me. And I don't understand why all these predators get protected, and the people like me that were decent and didn't do anything wrong to anybody, we're the ones that get hurt. And then I gotta put up with somebody that's not gonna protect me. But he says he wants to protect them, but he's not gonna protect us. Like, he's the problem. How is he protecting anybody? And I don't know. Like, my problem with the Democrats was, I should just stick to that subject for a minute. My first point was being lied to by Obama. And then, like, MSNBC and CNN, I catch them in lies all the time. I was commenting on their YouTube channels. Even CNBC, like, that whole thing with, what's his name? Anyway, I don't want to talk about that guy right now. Anyway, I need to stay on subject. Oh, the Democrats, yeah. The disappointment with Obama about being lied to with the water. And the disappointment with Hillary and Bill Clinton because of NAFTA. And because of the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, and how they were all friends with Trump and Epstein and all these people that, like, why is Galena the only one in prison? That's what I want to know. I'm sure her family wants to know that too, but why is she the only one in prison out of all this? Why? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I've been working on this for 7 years. I'm so tired of all of this, really. I really am. Ever since Jeffrey died, it just... I don't know what to even do with all that. I thought people could see through the fact that, Donald used to be a Democrat and Donald used to donate to them. And everybody's like, Hunter Biden and Tucker Carlson used to be friends. So I don't know why they all keep on saying that they all hate each other, because they all drama queen off of each other and go bicker back and forth and have their viral moments for the social media that the algorithms show everyone over and over again, and that gets perpetuated out into our media, and then everybody keeps parroting it on these hot topics. And that's the reason why I didn't like The View, because they were taking all the hot topics off of Facebook and promoting. To me, it's propaganda. Like, I don't even know how much we could rely on reporters telling us the truth, let alone constantly lying to us with an agenda and making money off of all the advertisements. So all these advertising agencies are all making money off of these politicians, and that's what all the news networks make money off of it. So that's why they'll all promote their politicians. It's just a crazy, corrupt cycle. And then you get like the two sides that they have their talking points, and they have their other talking points, and then they'll all just go bicker back and forth. But in the meantime, we don't have higher wages. We don't have insurance. Our schools are falling apart. Our roads are falling apart. We can't get things done. We can't get anything passed because they're all having their little drama sessions about who's using what bathroom and about, furries and ridiculousness. It's ridiculous. Like, I thought we were all adults here and we had priorities and things to do. Like, I dream about space. I want to know what's going on out there. I don't want to know about, who you think's controlling the weather, because that's nobody. I don't know. I don't understand why people can't critically think. Like, people tell you things, and I don't even want to repeat any of their lies because they're so ridiculous. People tell you things and flat out, it's a flat out lie. And you're not going to call them out. Like Trump telling you to inject bleach where the sun don't shine to clean out your system so you don't get sick. Remember that press conference? Yeah, total lie. Should have been called out on that. Should have been immediately aghast, everybody in that room. I don't know how they could even sit through the rest of that press conference with him telling us that ridiculous garbage. That is not any kind of a medical remedy for anything I've ever heard. You don't use bleach internally, ever. Don't. It's not even good to put on your skin. If you put it on top of your skin, it's going to burn your skin. So you don't call him out on that stuff, because he's going to start yelling and threatening everybody and throwing ketchup at the wall. They all know about Jeffrey. They all knew about Ghislaine. They all knew about Prince Andrew for years, since 2008. And they still covered for all these people. What? We just don't get to know what happens with any of that? Nobody else gets in trouble. Just Ghislaine. She's the only one that gets in trouble. And I don't like her, but honestly, that's not fair to her either. Honestly, it's not. So What? They keep getting protected. People like Matt Gaetz get protected. People like Joel Greenberg get protected. Even though he made a deal and this case keeps getting squashed. But what keeps happening with all the cases. It doesn't matter. Like, I mean, our law enforcement has been disabled because Larry Nassar was protected. Dr. Nassar or whatever his name, I think it was Larry Nassar. Anyway, he was protected. And then Jim Jordan is not even a lawyer, who is on the judicial committee and all that stuff that happened at Ohio State. And then we had some more stuff that happened at U of M. But nobody's going to address that. They're all just going to keep protecting him and excusing him and all those other people. To me, that's a protection racket. To me, that's public corruption and racketeering. And it's organized crime. So they have corrupted every avenue that we have to legally remedy this situation. And that worries me a lot. So I have to figure out, that's my problem. That's what I want to figure out what to do. Because he can make up just all these emergencies and just call in whoever he wants. And then if you're going to let him walk all over you and not call him out on it, then what? Because that's not how you treat a bully. To me, it's just a matter of dealing with a bully. And actually, that's what I think what Kamala's downfall was with her campaign. Was she, nice is nice, but what are you going to do when a bully's in your face screaming at you and threatening you, and you need to make decisions about your family, and you need to tell them, hey, look, you need me alive, for one thing. Because I'm important on that aspect, but on the other one, somebody threatening you in a bully situation like that, you gotta tell them no. You have to set boundaries with them. You can't put up with their crap. You have to de-escalate the situation. You can't sit there and argue with them and stuff, because you're not gonna get anywhere, because all they're gonna do is threaten you. Okay, so what do you do? Like, if you're scared and stuff, and you can't go to the police, and you can't call the FBI because they don't take your reports anymore, or they, they protect the predators. What do you do with all that? Like, the whole situation with Alex Jones being a bully to all those other people. Like, finally, he gets to lose everything, and Rudy Giuliani, he loses everything for bullying those other 2 election workers. Sometimes there is justice in this world, but it takes a long time, and I don't know if it even works, because Rudy turned around and just did the same thing. So they don't learn, all that money didn't change anything. Like, all the stuff that Bill Clinton did, now he's going to come out and do press interviews after he kept quiet all this time. And then never said anything about Jeffrey, and then won't explain what he's doing there. And then Hillary will tell you, none of your business. She's very dominant too. My point is they all like to keep people in heel. You'll hear them say that. You have heard Hillary say that. I've heard some of the English royalty family members say shit like that. I've also heard Matt Gaetz say things like that. Pay attention to it when people say they need to keep you in heel. It's not good. more people will follow you if they're motivated with their heart and they want to follow you and they think you're a hero and admire you. They don't want to be bullied and controlled and smashed and, driven every day to madness. The commercials are like irritating as all get out. I just don't understand how they can gaslight us like this in these commercials. And a lot of times I think the Democrats don't really do anything to defend all of the bullying. They just kind of take it. They're submissive. So we got the aggressive and the submissive, and nothing constructive gets done. And, I started to try to watch other news networks. Like, I started watching TYT for a while and Midas Touch, and I don't agree with a lot of the stuff. Like, Midas Touch, I agreed with a lot of the stuff they said, but I didn't like it when they talked about Biden, because, I don't know, I just thought they should be unbiased more than but yeah, I get they're showing a comparison. I understand that. I can look beyond that. And then the thing with TYT is sometimes we don't always have the same point of view on stuff. I try to be progressive, but I'm not that progressive. I do like a lot of the things that they talk about. And I think they're a lot more honest than a lot of other people are. That's why I watched Midas Touch, because I was interested in the court cases and the legal filings and the briefings and all that. That's what I wanted to see. And they're not showing it on the mainstream media networks. And then, like, TYT's a lot more bipartisan, or not bipartisan, I guess you could say bipartisan, impartial. They'll call out both sides. Like, I feel like that's a lot more fair. But I don't have to 100% agree with everybody. It's alright. So, trying to call me names about I'm this, that, the other, I'm a commie, I'm a lib, I'm a rhino, I'm a whatever. I'm sick of the name calling. I don't want to be called these names. Like, get to know me as a person and what I really think. And then maybe you'll understand why I vote the way I do, and why I think the way I do, and why I think my vote doesn't count, and why I think we're all getting taken for a big ride, and why I don't believe anything any of these people tell me, and I just want to be able to trust what I see on the news and not be lied to constantly about what's going on. Like, don't change the weather report. Don't tell me fires are caused by something else that aren't caused by something else. Don't tell me that there's a crisis where there's not a crisis. It's not that hard. But I guess they just want to get a rise out of everybody, and that gets them motivated to do their bidding. I think that's why Elon likes being called the richest guy in the world, because then people will bend to his will. People will do things for money that they wouldn't normally do because they think he's a rich guy, and they're afraid to go against him because he's got money, and people get money get protected. So I want to know how he gets to keep all those government contracts when he's corrupt with all these other politicians, just like Jeff Bezos. And he has the Washington Post, and then they run MSNBC, ABC. Like, you can tell sometimes the different networks how they lean by all the, like, who they cover for, who they can't talk about. Like, the Democrats were having these political videos. They were talking about billionaires buying our elections. And then they had Jeff Bezos on one. And then they had to take it out of that commercial. Because they can't talk about him. And then he says he wants to give all of his money away to charity. Well, it would be nice if you just paid taxes. Can you just do that? Like, just be normal. Quit trying to be a cowboy and be like, Elon, and he's already violating the Logan Act right in front of everybody. Like, they're all trying to negotiate all these negotiations for treaties and ceasefires and everything else that they are not authorized to negotiate. They're violating the Logan Act. So you just put a bunch of criminals in charge and expect everything to work out okay. I just don't see how it's going to work out okay. Maybe I'm just trying to reassure myself that they can handle it this time when they couldn't handle it the last time. And I'm not going to fix everything for them. I'm not your whipping post. Like, I'm not going to be, the person that you get a call in the middle of the night to make everything better for you when you can't fix your computer. And maybe you just might wake up and you get a big sign that says, sorry, your computer wouldn't restart. Frowny face. I don't know. Like, I'm so tired of, like, putting people in charge that don't know what they're doing and taking credit. And I told Elon, Jeff, Mark Zuckerberg, all those guys, you want to take the credit, you can take the blame. Because when you bought Twitter, you bought the whole bitch. I hope that sinks in. Okay, I guess I hate the Democrats too. I mean, I don't hate them. I'm so sick of the corruption. Like, just stop. Would you guys just quit? I guess it's too much to ask to quit committing crimes. To support your veterans. Like, don't go ordering riots and all that crazy stuff. Can we at least have some peace and quiet now? Because I've listened to 4 months of ridiculous commercials. And I'm so sick of politicians. And have a good night. Bye.